All right, so in this video, I want to show what will happen to your code if you change the object prototype. So by the object prototype, I mean the original global object or the object literal syntax that belongs to the global scope of the page. So right here, we have a constructor function of student, and basically we're creating a new student object, and it's going to have the ID, the name, and the subjects. And we created that instance right here with student one. So student one is a new student, so an instance of the constructor function of student, and then it has a value of 1 and then the name of read, and then I don't have subjects. I don't need subjects for this example. And down here we're making a comparison, or not a comparison, but we're finding where this prototype belongs. So I'll rewrite this. So if we say console.log and we take student1 and we use the dunder proto. So the dunder proto is basically going to tell us what the parent object or the parent constructor function is of student one. So what the parent constructor function of student one is. So we already know it's student, but we can make that comparison. So we can say student one dot proto, and then we can say equals to student dot prototype. And we'll see that this is true because student one is an instance of student, meaning that the student one prototype is equal to the student constructor function prototype. So another way we can show this, let's see what happens if we remove this right here. If we remove it, okay, we get nothing. Oh no, where's my code? Okay, so I guess something else we can show is getting the constructor. So if we console.log the object.get prototype of, and we get the prototype of student one, and we find the constructor associated with student one, it should be the constructor function of student. And that is true, the function student. So we can break this. And the way we break this is by creating a constructor function with the original object global. So if we say function object, and then we just say name, and we log this, and we say this dot name equals name. Well, we already get the error, but let's go ahead and continue. So let's say const person, or let's just say user1 equals a new object, and it's gonna be, let's say, Nelly. Okay, so this isn't working here. So it's not even letting me do it in JS Fiddle. It's saying object.get prototype of is not a function. Oh, that's because, hold on. Okay. Okay, so now when we equals this to the student.prototype. Okay, so now when we create this new function, what we're actually doing is we're changing the global instance of the object itself. So the prototype is basically just leading up to its parent, right? So the parent of student one is student, but the parent of student is the global object given to us by JavaScript. So if we change that global object given to us by JavaScript, that means we basically change the language itself. So to show that example, we can go down here to student1.proto. So we're looking for the prototype of student one, which is student, and then we're looking for the prototype of student, which should be object, but when we equal it to object.prototype, we get false. And that's because we just changed what object actually means in the language itself. So if we remove this, we go back to true because we just allowed object to be what object is. It's the beginning of the prototype chain, and everything coming down all belongs to the object. So all of our methods, all of our properties, and all of our constructor functions basically belongs to the object prototype.